Well, good afternoon again, you metalheads and you rockers in this crazy world, as I keep on telling you. Well, only you can do something about it to make it positive. What I would suggest is chase your cat around the house a few times and make it chase a mouse. Maybe that would help. Or you could write music like this guy, Duane Timlin, who happens to be my newest guest today, webisode number 95. I'm mailed in with Underground Noise Webzine. Welcome, Duane.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro. How you doing?
Doing good, man. A little busy, but good.
That's cool. Don't mind the cat scratching on the scratch pad if you heard it in the background.
I got one next to me. I got a dog barking upstairs. I know it.
So all sorts of stuff is happening at once.
Always.
A little bit of noise, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right?
Well, Duane, the first question I would like to ask you, I'd like to go way back to the Divine Empire days.
Oh, yeah.
Like Method of Execution, Doomed to Inherit.
I did the Nostradamus and so I did the two in between there. Alex Marquez was actually on the Doom to Inherit.
Yeah.
Marquez did that one, and then I stepped in right after him.
Okay, I was going to ask you a little bit about Doom to Inherit and also Divine Empire. Were there any songs off those albums that stood out to be your favorite?
There's a lot of good stuff. It's hard to pick one out of the bunch. The Doom to Inherit stuff, I like War Torn a lot. We used to play that one a lot. And then hell, I would have to go back and revisit that album actually. There's a good bunch of songs on there though. War Torn probably being the most notable one. That was probably the more fun one for me because I was a big Marquez fan coming into the band, as well as Roddy, Derek did the first album. So yeah, there was the first one. Derek actually started that, and then Marquez, and then myself. I kind of had the longer run with the band though. Towards the later years,
Absolutely. I mean, what happened with that band? I was thinking that maybe you guys had a breakup or something.
We had a little tiff, yeah. The guitar player started going into a different direction. He was getting more into like blues, and I mean, he was always into the blues, but he started getting a little more professional about it. So he was kind of focused on that thing, and then there was just things internally that were hiccups, I would say, that kind of just led to it falling apart. I mean, shit happens. It's the nature of the beast,
Absolutely, man. That's true. Shit does happen, but it's the wipe that counts.
It's exactly. And it just sometimes that's how things play out, Doing it as long as we have. I mean, we go through and we keep up with a lot of different guys. I mean, when you have a core group that's around for a long time, and I mean, we used to play a lot. I mean, just because at the time we were living in different places. I was living in Texas and flying back and forth between there and Florida. So at any given time, if we were getting ready to record or go out on the road, we would be together for a month, sometimes 2 months, and we would just get at it every day and basically play every day for about 8 hours a day, So we spent a lot of time together, and we traveled a lot, and we were a 3-piece, so it was easy for us just to jump in a minivan and do a run in a minivan and still have plenty of room, So we were in close quarters a lot, quite often.
I can only imagine, it's like almost like a sardine box being crammed all in.
Yeah. I mean, that only happened, we maybe did that like once or twice. But either way, we did it, and yeah, I mean, those were pretty decent runs where they were like in the 5-6 week range, One of them might have been 6 to 7 weeks. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of time around each other, and everybody was trying to do different shit, and me not living there was a problem. It was kind of a burden, Just a lot of things went into it, kind of just falling apart,
Yeah, I missed that project, man. That was something special.
I've been recently revisiting the stuff just going through it. I got some ideas about doing some things, about coming back and kind of putting together something and playing some of those songs. Kind of doing a mashup of a lot of the things that I've done that just, for whatever reason, either ended, never happened, or fell apart,
Yeah, I can understand that totally, man.
So kind of, yeah, putting together a show where it kind of celebrates all of that stuff. Because
Yeah, we were
in this day and age, I mean, it's hard to get a solid group like something like that, or the Cannibals or I even look at some of the newer or older bands, all the older bands, I should say, Suffocation or Nile or, having that core group. It's hard to do that these days. So I guess we were kind of in on the tail end of that when guys actually stuck together and, so more or less, yeah, I'm trying to work on putting something together, and I've been revisiting those songs and going back, and yeah, this shit is, I don't know what the hell we were thinking on some of that stuff, man. Because even nowadays, to today's standards, I think some of that shit would be pretty challenging.
absolutely. I mean, you were talking about War Torn earlier. I was thinking about Vowed Revenge as well, and also
Wild
Birth.
Revenge or just anything off that album. Kill the King. Our big one was the any of them really. I mean, that album. That's when we were really hitting it hard. I mean, we came out with the album between Doom to Inherit and The Method of Execution was the Nostradamus, and we kind of call that one our Rain in Blood, because we came out, we got all excited, we had a deadline with Central Media at the time, so we just banged out an album, and it was only 30 minutes long. So we were kind of like, well, shit, And then seeing the reviews and whatnot, people were, liked what we were doing, but they wished it was longer. And then, so the next album, we put a lot more focus into whatever, we were paying attention to the reviews and shit. So, I mean, we went full ham on that Method of Execution.
Yeah, that's a solid album. Still stands the test of time.
I think so, man, from the stuff I've been checking out. And I mean, even to the stuff that I currently do nowadays, yeah, it definitely, I'm looking back on it now, I'm like, well, yeah. But our goal was to like push the limits, really, push ourselves and see, see what we could really do. Like I said, our other guy was into blues, and I mean, this JP is killing it. He's doing great with his blues band. I mean,
That's
he's
amazing.
basically they're like counting him as like a modern day Stevie Ray Vaughan or some shit. He's
Oh
that good.
wow.
He's that good. I'm sure he gets up by you pretty often, actually. I mean, he'll do a couple week runs and shit. Yeah, just gotta look for JP Soares and the Red Hots. That's what
Okay,
he's
cool.
under. Yeah, JP Soares and the Red Hots.
That's a really catchy name. I
Well,
like
that's
it.
his name. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He used to be able to play on the Soares name a lot, actually.
every
So
now and again,
we were getting into that realm and shit. So it was more or less, we were getting more technically advanced as players and constantly up each other's ass about, well, let's try this or do this. And we always wanted it to be as hard as possible. There was always a motive to it, whatever
you
it
know,
was.
every now and again, Duane, I catch myself growling along to the instrumental "Birth of Legends."
Nice. Yeah, that's another great one. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I just growl along to it, just garbled vocals, not even actual words, just to fill
Hey,
space. So it's
that's
just like,
crazy.
okay, this sounds cool, man. But at the same time, it should stay an instrumental.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. We did a few and then we tested the waters with the we did the stoner rock thing at the end there, which that was like a last minute little add on that we just threw in there.
Yeah, that was a
I
big
think right
surprise.
before we recorded that, like we had just gotten hit by a hurricane or some shit. And if I remember correctly, I got up out of there. I was like, I'm not sticking around for this shit. So I went back to Texas. I went back to Texas, and then whenever the dust settled, then I went back down there. But yeah, it was just like a series of things that were just kept pecking at us, and it made it difficult, right around that album. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, most people we never got to do anything for that Method of Execution album, aside from get it put out. We didn't
Yeah,
really
I love
tour
that
for it
album.
or do anything, which
Yeah, I
was
found that
unfortunate.
CD.
Which was unfortunate because had we done that, history could be a lot different.
Absolutely, dude. I found that CD along with Doom to Inherit one day when I lived in Kansas, and it was at a discount store, so I got it for $8, and I was like,
Nice.
man, I've never listened to these guys. I've heard so many things about them. I went back to my old apartment, put it in my CD player, and blasted my eardrums. And I'm like,
Yes.
holy shit, man, this is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. We were the power trio. Yeah, man.
Just
And all
amazing.
across the board. So all three drummers, I mean, are ridiculous drummers. And then you got the Metallica, or not Metallica, but Malevolent Creation, because that's basically where it all stemmed from. So, it was just a different version of whatever album it was. What the hell was it? I can't think off the top of my head, but the three of the Malevolent Creation guys broke off. So JP, Jason, and Derek, they were the ones that drifted away from that and then started that. And then Derek bowed out and went to Hate Eternal, and Marquez came in, and he basically just did the album.
Yeah, Alex Marquez is cool.
Yeah, he was in and out. Yeah, dude, he's great, man. Great drummer too, man.
Yeah, he's like a dreamboat, man. I got to interview him a couple years or so ago.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. Legend.
Absolutely.
He's a real
Yeah,
legend. Man. Real
he's a
legend.
goat. He's a goat for sure.
Retribution, man. That's the metal Bible, man. He definitely
That's
crushed that one. Malevolent Creations Retribution is still one of probably my top albums still, probably.
I still love the song called "The Will to Kill."
Yes. Yeah, I toured with them a few times on that rotation, man.
That's badass.
Couple bands too, actually. Or no, we did a Fine Art Murder one. I toured with them several times.
Very cool, Duane. Very cool.
A few of those albums, yep.
My next question for you, Duane, would be like, how do you manage time in between band rehearsals? Like, how do you make time for each band that you're in?
It's not hard when nobody wants to practice. Uh Everybody's got select days. We all pick a day. One of the bands has got a couple of days they like to work with just to be more proactive and productive, I guess. And then aside from that, I mean, I got to manage the recordings and the this and the that, and you know, I got songs flying in all the time, so I'm like trying to demo stuff out here, and then take it down to the big room and get on the kit. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how to answer that question. I just do it.
Hey, you're a powerhouse, man.
Well, all the bands they're well aware too. So I mean, if something comes up, we got to swap dates, which sometimes that shit happens, but or some days we got to cancel, which I mean really isn't too often. But yeah, if in the event, I mean, and a lot of times, like most of the bands, they'll work together because I got two of them that are in the same. We practice in the same place in the studio, and so we alternate days, and then whatever. Say for instance, a band comes in town. If I'm doing some session or doing road work or whatever, the guys will come in from wherever, from out of town, and then we'll just block days off and say, okay, well, this is going on, so no practices, whatever. And then the other, everybody will just get against together amongst themselves. And it's just a matter of me maintaining the memory, whenever we
I
come
love
back or from whatever we're doing or whatever, and just getting after it. I
Duane, the
just went
vocal.
through I just went through a crazy little run this last month where I just went out on the road. We did a month out on the road, two different bands. We had guys from like 4 or 5 different states, all had to congregate here. At the same time, I was in the recording studio with another band. So as everybody was traveling in, I was like knocking out tracks. So yeah, it's just a matter of, there are nights where we'll do every band in one night.
Oh wow.
In something like that, when it's like that. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I caught myself the other day listening to Viogression, and I was like, wow, I have to revisit this a little bit. I think it was the first CD that you guys came out with. It
Yeah,
was a
the
demo.
Exxon Exor. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
man.
Yeah. It's raw. It's raw to me for some reason, but at the same time, it's got a strong force behind it that can't be broken.
It's definitely unique. Definitely unique. Yeah, man. Well, we're doing a bunch of shit with that too. I'm in the process of recording our new one right now, actually. I was just trying to, that's probably what I'll end up doing tonight is tuning up drums and micing and getting ready to roll some stuff that we've been working on. We just have to finish. But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
hell,
looking.
we got about 2 albums worth of shit ready to go right now.
Hey, put two on one.
We were thinking about it, but we just have too much we're sitting on right now. I mean, we still got COVID songs that we're trying to wrap up that should have been done a year ago. But yeah, it's been a slow process for that stuff too. Hell, I got to send you our last one.
Yeah, I'll have to send you my address, and if you want to sign it for me, that'd be cool.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. Yeah, our
Oh yeah.
latest one, man. It's kind of up there with the it's getting close to the divine realm, you know, because I'll get on these guys about shit too, where we kind of beat ourselves up too much, man. You come out with an album like that, and then you have the pressure of trying to recreate that. When in reality, you're trying to move on and stay fresh, current, but have some of the elements of the old school stuff. So we've been kind of kicking ourselves around, trying to balance the elements of everything.
Yeah, like I was telling you about Viogression, and I was looking at the word as well, and I'm like thinking this must have been a play with words, like violent aggression. Is that how you combine?
Exactly. Yep. Violence and
Okay,
aggression. Yeah, man.
I figured it out. That's incredible. I'm pretty sure some people would look at it and be like, I don't know what this means.
We
Well,
were just in Denver and we had a guy screaming out Viogressor at us. And I mean, this guy was losing it. Like, what the fuck is that, Viogressor? Who are you, Viogressor? And we were like, man, if only we could go back 30 years and call it Viogressor. But yeah, Viogression, man, it's exactly what it is. Violence and aggression, just mashed up. Yep.
yeah, I had a good feeling that was a play with words, and hey, that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it was the 80s, we, the late 80s, anyways. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Things were a little more original back then, I guess.
Yeah, and probably a little bit less violent.
Oh, a lot less. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, these guys, yeah. All of them, man. They're pussycats, man.
Yeah, nowadays you see people doing karate chops and karate kicks in the air, and you're thinking to yourself, that ain't fucking moshing. Moshing
Right?
is pushing and shoving, but
No,
the
that
circle
shit, to be honest, that shit's been going on for over 20 years, man. We used to see that up in the east, northeast, all the time. Albany,
yes.
New York, yeah, all the hardcore kids.
Yeah, they're the ones that do it the most, and they like to pick change up off the floor when there's nothing there.
Right. And at the same time, the hardcore kids didn't get, they were just as much into the death metal as they were the hardcore. So they would come out to, like, for instance, Anal Blast. I think we still have one of the shows up online where we kind of knew it was going to happen already. So Don Decker threw up a $20 bill and was like, whoever Bruce Lee's it the hardest gets the $20. The whole place just lost their shit. It was just nothing but karate chops and arms swinging and hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Oh, it was great, man. I hope we got the video somewhere. Somebody has it because the place that this happened at was like a legendary place in Albany, New York. So it was a really kick-ass place.
Was it Northern Lights?
Oh no.
Okay, because I've been to Northern Lights many, many times.
Yeah, I played a couple different clubs there before. I know there was one that was like an upstairs place. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But it was just outside of Albany. So it was like in a little suburb. So it wasn't Albany proper. And it just burnt down like a year or two ago.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah, but we played there a bunch of times. I played there a couple times with Anal Blast, a couple times with Dying Fetus. Yeah, what the fuck was it called? I can't think off the top of my head, but that show in particular, though, yeah, that we had the whole place. So whatever, the camera was panned on the crowd with everybody doing the karate kicks and shit. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm just hoping there's some of that video still around because that was a fun show.
Oh,
All for $20 too.
Oh, that's a fair price. I mean, I'll definitely have to look for that video too and see if I can find it.
Yeah, I think they were like jumping over chairs and shit. They were outrageous about it. It was hilarious.
My next question for you, Duane, would be out of all the bands you've played with so far, what's the biggest crowd that you've played in front of?
Oh, I don't know. It's definitely up in the thousands. Did a few of those Eurofests. So, whatever. I would say up to like about 40,000 probably. Something
That's
like
a
that.
nice size.
You're pretty big. Yeah, man. Yeah, I would say somewhere in that area. Nothing too outrageous or extravagant. Never got to do whacking yet, so
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope you guys can make it to Wacken because that'd be like a dream come true, I'm sure.
shit. We did a Testament tour that was pretty big over in Europe, anyways. That was a pretty fun one. Divine Empire. So Divine Empire, Testament, and a couple other bands. But yeah, it was a great time. So yeah, we were playing big shows.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was like right when Alex Skolnick got back to get with them.
Alex Skolnick's the man.
He just got back with them, and they did a cool little thing, man. It was like they brought Louis Clemente out, and they had John Tempesta because Louis hadn't played, and like I forgot what he told us. He was like, "Man, I haven't touched a pair of drumsticks in like 16 years." So John would do like the majority of the show, and Louis would come out and do like 3 of his songs. It was really cool. And Alex was fresh back into the band. That was a great tour, man. Those guys were on fire, man.
That's really cool.
So yeah, those would have been our biggest shows for Divine Empire, anyways. I mean, we were playing probably some of those shows where, there was a few thousand every night.
Next question for you, Duane. It just slipped my mind actually, but here it is actually. What was your introduction to heavy metal music or death metal for that matter?
Black Sabbath. That was my first show, 1982, man. Ever since then, yeah, it was downhill from there. I'm primarily, I guess Iron Maiden would have played a part. My dad plays too, but he's more of a kind of all over the place, more classic rock stuff, bluesy. So a lot of that stuff. But yeah, my first introduction was Sabbath 82. They were on Mob Rules then, so they had Ronnie J on the vocals. Yeah, ever since then, man, it was kind of where it went. I started playing right around then too. I was probably already getting after it for about a year. I sat down on the drums when I was first at like 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, going to my dad's practices and shit, and sitting there and kind of just waiting my turn. Like, can I hit your shit now?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just jump on my dad's dude's drums and kind of just hammer away.
That's really cool. Back in '82, I was 3 years old.
I was 5.
Yeah, you got me beat by a couple of years, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was a whopping 5 years old. And how we got to that was great too, man. My little brother, we went to some goddamn was like a costume competition or some shit where you wear your pajamas or something. It was something dress up in pajamas or some shit. And my little brother won the tickets to the show. And my parents ended up like convincing them to give another pair of tickets. And they were like, well, shit, since he won, they took us because of, you know, otherwise we would have never went. But yeah, somehow my parents convinced the radio promotion for a couple extra tickets so they could take us. And that's how we ended up going.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
So that would have been my main introduction into it, like, you know, other than hearing like Iron Maiden or whatever on the radio, you know, because shit, they were probably playing Maiden back then pretty regularly on the radio, or just things like that, Zeppelin, you know, just hearing the rockier stuff. Kind of got in there, and then I got some cousins who started getting into Metallica and shit right around Master and Puppets, probably. I guess that would probably been the first like heavy thing I heard. And then from there, yeah, just downward spiral, man. Started getting in everything, you know, meeting up with the metalheads and shit at school and or hanging out with them and eventually jamming. Hell, I started probably jamming with my first band in like the 7th grade. So just some clowns from school, you know, that all wanted to either play guitar or bass or something, you know. Found a couple different groups of dudes that we would just get together and kind of shed out at my dad's shit. We took his place over for a while and then eventually got our own room. And then, yeah, it was just, that was it, man. From there, it's just been stuck in those rooms and working on music ever since then, really.
That's really awesome. Are there any bands that you're currently listening to that leave you mind blown?
To be honest, man, I don't listen to much music. I get on there, man. I check out some of the new stuff, and I got to move on, man. I'm usually working on so much stuff myself that I get so far behind on it. I don't really get a chance to regularly just sit and check bands out. And then when I do, it's usually when they're on the road or something. So a tour comes through or whatever, I'll go see what's going on, you know. But as far as getting to sit around and listen to shit, no, I don't.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And usually I do so much, yeah, where it's like, man, I prefer the downtime, which is far and few. There's not much of that. So I don't really like our van on this last run. How the hell this even happened, I have no idea. But we just did the whole month in complete silence in the van. I've never had that ever happen before. But yeah, the whole time we were out, and I mean, we were doing some pretty good drives, like 12-hour drives and shit. No music whatsoever.
Wow.
It was insane.
I would have gone berserk. You know, I would have just been like, we need something to keep ourselves motivated.
I kept asking. I was like, I don't know why nobody even thought about it. I mean, if you had earbuds and shit, I guess if you really wanted to, I think everybody kind of enjoyed it actually. I had a little Super Nintendo rig set up, so I was fine.
Hey, Super Nintendo, I'll battle you in battle mode and Super Mario Kart sometime.
Oh yeah, man, hell yeah.
My brother and I played the shit out of that game back in
Dude,
the
that used to be a big
days.
one, and yeah, my crew, man, yeah.
You remember the X Band? It was one of those video game modems that you could put on your Sega Genesis or your Super Nintendo. You could play video games with people around the States or the world.
No shit, no, I don't remember those.
Yeah, my brother and I played the hell out of those things, and we had some fun with it. Well, let's see, we're in our mid 40s right now,
Right,
so
yeah.
I was thinking in the 90s or so.
See, yeah, we were already on the 64 by then. Yeah, we all had the 864s with all the little stupid little gadgets that went with that thing, and you had the like. I remember they had something that put in there, like some expansion card or something.
Yeah, the expansion pack, and
Yeah.
I remember the Nintendo 64 because we actually had one of those too. We would play Turok Rage Wars on there like no tomorrow.
Dude, that was our game. I still have that.
My brother has his, and I'm just like, man, that game's still fucking epic.
Dude, it's rad as hell, man. And yeah, we would get lost in that for hour or Golden Eye, whatever, same shit.
Yes. GoldenEye
Golden Eye is great,
007.
man.
That's a hair raiser, man. You made the back of
Yeah.
my hair stand up. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, we would play that game nonstop too, dude.
Yep. In between jams, man. That's pretty much what it was, man. Jam, game, jam. That's up here in Wisconsin, man. You don't got a lot of shit to do in the wintertime, man. It's one or the other. You're hibernating one way or another. So yeah, we would spend our entire winter just jamming.
That's incredible. I've only got a few minutes here left with you, Duane, but I'd like to ask you a few more questions real quick. What would you like to say to your fans out there?
Man, mainly just thanks for all the support. Everybody that comes out, anybody that obviously merch, CDs. I don't know. I had a cool run on this last run, man, where I don't really normally hear it too often, but we were playing specific clubs that were actually playing a lot of my old catalog stuff where you're just standing there and you're like, holy shit, what the hell? That's me. Or you joke to somebody about that, whatever. Hey man, that's it was Divine came up once. I think it was like the only CD they played the entire night was the Nostradamus album.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, man. And that's what kind of got me buzzing about, going back and checking that old stuff out. But as far as fans, man, I mean, hey, I appreciate all the support, man.
Heck yeah, dude. Most definitely. Fans are what keep you moving.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the process keeps me moving, man. It's just I like the process of making the music and shit, man. And, once we let it go off into the world, man, it's on its own, It's just, if people respond to it, man, hey, that's great. We love it.
Open territory.
Right. Right, man.
I heard somebody say one time it doesn't matter how slow you are in death metal or how fast you are, as long as you got a good riff and a good beat.
Gotta have the hooks, man. It's all about hooks for us. We're the hooky dudes. That was Divine's big thing, man. Hooks. If you can't bob your head to it, man, even at whatever speed, like even if we were flying and shit, we still wanted to make sure it had a hook and it grabbed you. And it was interesting and not just a bunch of blast beats jumbled together,
Absolutely. You got to stretch it out a little bit, and
gotta keep people's interest, man.
That's right. I mean, you can't just have all blast beats throughout a whole song, otherwise you
I mean,
won't
don't
have
get me wrong, man. That shit's great, but it's great in small doses, man. You got to learn how to write the song,
That's right. I've got two more questions for you real quick, Duane. As far as beats per minute go, what's the fastest you can go?
I probably stay usually comfortable in the 280 range.
That's incredible. I'm sure you're familiar with the band called Brain Drill.
Oh yeah.
Lord Marco. He sounds like a robot.
Yeah, man. Well, he plays on the rolling kits. So do I, though. I got one over here. I'll demo stuff out on there and shit. But yeah, Marco's pretty out of control. We did some shows together before.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I go back with him.
Yeah, when I first heard Brain Drill, I was like, who the fuck is Brain Drill? And then I listened to it and I was like, whoa.
See, that's what I'm getting at, man. The shit is crazy as hell, but how long can you listen to it all in a row,
Well, if you got the time to do it, do it. But if you don't,
oh no, that shit would automatically come on at a party. When we were in Texas, man, that was big shit down in Texas, man. So we'd have a kegger, and yeah, they would just rip Brain Drill over and over again until somebody was like, "Dude, fucking stop!"
Put on some Necrophagus. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. Hey, fucking man, they're another great band. Well, no, they were. Texas is a different animal, man. Necrophagus is too tech for them. They're more, they like it heavy and they like it fast. So Texas has got a certain swag to it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. There's a few bands from there that I like Gut Recite is one of them.
Yeah, man.
That's definitely a real banger for sure.
The Horde of Bethlehem.
Yep,
Uh,
heard that one before.
Flash Order, of course.
Flesh Hoarder, can't forget those guys. Those guys are fantastic.
Right. Oh, Nene, man. Yeah. And Mikey. Shit, man. There used to be a lot of good bands in Houston, man. Demon Knuckle, Jenny Flexion, the original Cerebral Rot. Some of my
Yep,
boys.
that's a name I haven't heard in quite a while.
Yeah, man. Uncleansed. Shit, yeah. Bunch of shit, man. Yeah. But, I mean, they liked it, either way. Black and death metal, or they like it, the old beat down caveman shit.
Absolutely. Well, Duane, I got 2.5 minutes left, and my last question for you would be, do you have any last words for Underground Noise Webzine?
Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep spreading the metal word, man. Definitely need it. Hope, yeah, man. I hope you get some good interviews. Get some rockers in there.
Absolutely.
Most def, man.
I appreciate your support, and thanks for letting me have a portion of your time today.
Oh man, thanks for having me, man. And then yeah, we'll have to get on some of that. We'll have to do some of the shooting games, man.
Absolutely,
I'll figure
dude.
it out. I'll get a rig going.
Or we could play some Halo Reach on the 360 Xbox.
Yeah, on Xbox, man.
No? You got a PlayStation?
I got the PlayStations and I got a bunch of Nintendo shit. I have a old Xbox here, but it's an old thing. I've never even touched it, man.
Well, after this interview, I'll send you my information for PlayStation 4.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, dude, I got that. So yeah, no, they wouldn't have any of the Nintendo games on there. The Halo's on there?
No, but I do play Borderlands 3 a lot.
Okay.
Still trying to defeat the Agonizer 9000. That thing's a pain in the fucking ass, dude.
Oh man.
Every time I come across that, I'm just like, man, I need a fucking army to destroy this fucker.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because I've been at level 34 for quite some time and I still can't defeat the Agonizer 9000. So I'm thinking, man, I need a teammate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, for sure. Try to figure it out, man.
Yeah, me and a buddy of mine who lives in Colorado, we're going to be releasing a demo pretty soon.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep, it'll be 4 songs and then we're going to work on an album. So I'll
Yeah.
keep you informed about that too.
Well, our next run, man, we're working on making our way down by you, man. So
Cool.
we're working on doing the southeast. That's the only spot that we really haven't touched yet. So yeah, we want to do, the Gulf Coast and shit. So
I'll definitely come out and support you guys.
hell yeah, man. I'll keep you posted on that, dude.
Right on, dude. And keep your horns up for Melon Rock, you guys.
Right, man.
That's
Smoke
the
up.
only way to do it.
Yeah, man. All right,
Cool.
dude.